And it is time for my final thought. On the 75th anniversary of D-Day, I want to dedicate today's final thought to an unsung hero from that battle, Waverly Woodson. Woodson was an Army medic with the lone black combat unit to fight on D-Day. Upon arriving at Omaha Beach, the bloodiest of the 5 sites invaded by the Allies, Woodson's unit was greeted by heavy German machine gun fire. The barrage killed the man next to him, and shrapnel left Woodson with so many injuries, he initially believed that he too was dying. Fighting through his injuries, Woodson set up a medical aid station for Allied troops, and over the next 30 hours treated over 200 soldiers, doing everything from removing bullets, dispensing blood plasma, cleaning wounds, resetting broken bones, and even amputating a foot. He also saved 4 men from drowning, pulling them from the waves and administering CPR. After being treated for his own injuries, Woodson requested to return to Omaha Beach to continue aiding fellow soldiers. Now, Waverly Woodson's heroism was recognized by his superiors in the Army and the French government and documented in various newspapers. And yet, despite this, Woodson never received a Medal of Honor, the highest U.S. military decoration given to those who display extraordinary valor in action. Now, a study commissioned by the U.S. Army concluded that racism was to blame for the military's failure to honor soldiers of color during World War II, which is not surprising. But in the years since, Woodson's widow has fought to secure a posthumous Medal of Honor. Fortunately, Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen has also championed the cause. I pray their efforts are successful because this honor is long overdue. Waverly Woodson deserves to be honored in the same light as his contemporaries, and he deserves his place in history. We're going to continue this conversation online, and I do want to salute all those that served in World War II, including those that were involved in D-Day. You guys have a beautiful Thursday. Get up, DC.